I guess it was done recording for a minute and it stopped. So, all right, where were you born?
I was born in Chicago, Illinois.
All right.
On July 19th.
Yeah.
It was in the summertime.
In July?
Yeah, and it was hot.
Wasn't it winter back then?
No, but then it got winter. In December, it got winter. It got snow on the ground.
Really?
I told my dad, let's get the hell out of here. It's too cold. So we moved south.
So you were born migratory?
Yeah. In the macaroni factory.
Yeah. Well, how'd you end up in Alabama?
Well, I like to tell this story, but my daddy didn't like it. I saw this movie, Al Capone, and in the movie, this guy named Anselmo and another guy named Scalise tried to kill Al Capone. And my dad's best friend's name was Matt Scalise, and he grew mushrooms. And I like to tell that story. My daddy would get mad. It wasn't him, but
Right.
I said, well, that was him. Yeah. They were banned, so they moved. Well, they moved to Mississippi first, and then they moved from there to Birmingham. And but no, that's, and I don't remember anything about Chicago because I was just a baby.
Yeah.
And only thing I remember about Birmingham was when we moved into a place called Inslee, the little suburb called Inslee. That's where I grew up. Went to school there.
You grew up? I haven't.
Well, my body grew.
Okay. You got taller.
Yeah. That's it.
And what about, so you were in the Navy. What made you decide to go in the Navy?
Well, I'll tell you, there was a war started after World War II.
Mm-hmm.
Then there was the Korean conflict.
Mm-hmm.
And a good friend of mine joined the Army and went over there and was killed. And I said, that ain't gonna happen to me. I'm going to join the Navy because, he was sleeping in foxholes and out in the weather and all that. I said, in the Navy, you get 3 square meals a day and a clean bed to sleep on.
And you won't get drafted into the Army.
And we'll be drafted in the Army. So I didn't join the Navy, I joined the Naval Reserve.
Oh, okay.
And I got called into active duty. So.
And how old were you when that happened?
I was 20, I think, or 21.
Were you guys already married?
No, we had just met. We started courting, and then we got a little serious. And then I got called to active duty, so we had to put that love making on hold until we got. We had to do it all by mail,
Mm-hmm. They didn't have the internet back then? Mm-hmm. What did you do? How did you talk to people?
They did good to have. They did good to have telephones.
Yeah.
So but.
And for the grandkids, he means the old rotary telephones. You had to.
Oh yeah. And back then they had party lines.
Yeah.
You get on the phone and somebody else may be talking on it.
You had to wait your turn.
And you had to wait you had to hang up until they got through talking. Every now and then you keep picking up,
Yeah.
And then you'd say something snotty like, well, see, people know I'm on the damn phone. Why don't they wait till I get through talking? Wait me about 20, 30 minutes. But if they were nice, you want to be nice, and you just say, I'm sorry, I'm still on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
But phones rang a different way. If it was your phone ringing, it would ring like 2 times. And if it was my phone ringing, it would ring like 3 times. Ring, ring, ring. And I knew that was my phone call.
Instead of just for somebody else on a party line?
Yeah.
Oh. All right.
That was back in, that was modern technology then, boy. You talk about state of the art.
Yeah.
Then they got the private lines, and then the old rotary dial, and then they got the push button phones. Now man, that was something else. And then the operator would come on if you wanted to call in. if you want to get a phone number, you just called information, and that was free. Didn't charge you nothing.
Right, and everybody was listening, I'm sure, because back then they were
yeah.
calling everybody from telemarketing.
No, they didn't have telemarketing back in those days. Your phone rang, somebody, you
They wanted
picked
to
it
talk
up,
to you.
you said hello, and you started talking. Now, I mean, now you text, you don't even talk anymore.
Yeah.
See, it's evolved around to the way it used to be when they used to,
Telegraphs.
we used to communicate with tom-toms,
What was that?
drums, you know.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't think you were that old. I mean, I knew you were old. All right, well, what was y'all's wedding like?
Small,
Yeah?
Thursday afternoon,
Oh, on a Thursday, not even on a weekend.
2 o'clock. He was in the Navy.
I was in the Navy, I had to be back on ship, what was it, 3 days, 4 days after we got married?
Yeah. How long were you active?
Well, let's see, we got married in May, and the following, let's see, it was in 52, 53, well, about this fall, 53, I got out, wasn't it? The Korean War ended and they let us out early.
Okay.
I had to stay in the reserve, so.
Well, yeah, but so you were active duty, what, 2, 3
About
years?
2 years,
2 years.
2.5 years, I guess. Lived on a ship out in the ocean. It was nice, pleasant, real nice, out, fresh air.
Yeah. What'd you do when you came back? You got into banking?
No, I got into finance. Well, I got in the insurance business first. I was selling insurance, and it was okay. But I just couldn't stand it because I knew people needed insurance and they didn't want to buy it. So the debit that I had, it was a weekly debit. You go out and collect the money each week from the people and write insurance, try to write new policies. And this old man that had that debit before me, he had it like 15, 20 years, and he kept his books up in the head.
Mm.
And so at the end of each month, it was money come due. Well, see, he had already collected it, but he didn't turn it in. So he kept telling me I needed to pay, and I said, well, I'm not going to do any more until you give me an audit of the account. You know, I want to make sure that I'm not paying his goof ups. And they said, well, it costs too much money to do an audit. I said, well, you can have your book back. I'm gonna write no more insurance for it. So I quit. And I went to work in the finance business. I've become a loan shark. Back in those days, you know, you charged usurious rates of interest to poor people that couldn't afford it.
So it's not much different from today.
That's right. Well, I mean, it was, no, I'm just making a joke because that's what everybody called me, was a loan shark. But we helped people back in those days because they didn't have the money to go out and buy cars or buy televisions. Well, they had televisions, but, you know, buy the things that they wanted for their home. So we made them loans, and they paid it out. The maximum term was 18 months.
Yeah.
See, so it wasn't very big loans, but then it got bigger as it went on. The economy grew and all that. And then that evolved into home improvement lending, which evolved into, well, consumer finance lending. And I managed 2 or 3 loan offices, and then I got promoted to supervisor, and I supervised Alabama, and I had the whole state of Alabama. And then they moved me out. Well, I left that company and came to work for the company that moved me out here to Texas, and we've been out here ever since.
So that's why you're out here in Texas, and
Yeah.
You came out here with a job.
We came out here with a job, and you know, every time we get settled into a place, like my first assignment was assistant manager in Montgomery, Alabama, and then we got transferred to manager in Dothan, Alabama. And then I met this other company, guy with this other company, and they wanted to hire me and move me back to Birmingham, so I said, okay. So we moved back to Birmingham, and then we got transferred from Birmingham down to Mobile. And then the guy that I used to work for in Mobile quit and went to work for a company in New Orleans, and they had this opening in Texas. So he hired me to come out here to Texas. And I supervised 13 loan offices in Texas and southern Oklahoma. And then they gave me the whole state of Texas, and I was gone all the time.
Yeah.
And I just got tired of traveling. You wake up in the morning, where am I? What city am I in? Because all the motel rooms looked alike.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just said that I was going to quit. And the company said, well, just move down here to the home office in New Orleans, you know. And so I told Dottie and the kids, you know, well, we're going to move to New Orleans. And they said, well, y'all can move to New Orleans, but we're not moving anymore. Said every time we get settled in somewhere and make friends, that we have to move again, and we don't want to do that anymore. Because they were getting old enough, you know, to start making friends. I think they were in junior high, weren't they, or something like that. And so then I got out of the finance business and got into home improvement financing.
Mm-hmm.
And that evolved into me opening up my own company for about, year and a half, 2 years. And my partner got him a big job offer. He was became a controller of some company, so I couldn't blame him for that. And then I started,